My mom is getting older, and I am aware of the limited time that we have left together. So, as any good daughter, favorite, according to some circles, would do, I decided this past April to take her on vacation. Now, my mom lives in Minnesota, and after a brutally cold winter, she had only one request, and it was this in her own words. "Oh, I just really want to go somewhere warm." So, because Will Smith promised that South Beach would bring the heat, we decided to go to Miami together. Now, you don't often get to quote him on stage, so thanks for that. One thing about my mom is that she is deathly afraid of flying. So to start my petition for Daughter of the Year award, I provide door-to-door service. I fly from LA to Minneapolis. I fetch her and my twin brother, and then we all hop on a flight together to Florida. Now, this all sounded really good in theory, but was a lot less glamorous in practice. Much to the chagrin of Capital One and the delight of Delta Airlines, this meant spending a lot more money and a lot more time traveling. And don't even get me started on how hard it was to pack for the 40-degree temperature difference between the upper Midwest and Miami. So as you can imagine, before my vacation even begins, my patience is already starting to wear thin. Get to Miami, and it seems like my mom and brother and I can't agree on almost anything to do with our vacation, from where we want to stay to where we want to go for dinner. And I know that this trip is not about me. It's really about being able to spend quality time together. And so sacrifices were made. But there was one thing that I refused to budge on, and it was this. I really, I cannot emphasize this enough, really wanted to go to a Waffle House. Why, you ask? I'm so glad that you asked. Let me count the ways. Just kidding. I know that I don't have very much time up here, and I would waste all of my time telling you how infatuated I am with Waffle House instead of finishing my story. But let me just say that waffles are one of my favorite foods. If I could choose only one breakfast to eat for the rest of my life, it would probably be Eggo waffles, and yes, that is because I'm Midwestern. But it was also because of the scarcity of Waffle House to me. Now, I know there are over 2,000 Waffle Houses in this great country of ours. That's a fun fact. And another fun fact, the closest one to where we are now is over 350 miles away in Phoenix. And I'd never gotten to go to one, and I just wanted to know what all the hype was about. But to say that my mom and brother were less enthusiastic is an understatement. And no amount of Kim Kardashian sightings or Kid Rock fights or Jonas Brothers songs could convince them to go to this Waffle House. But I devised a foolproof plan, and it was this. I found a Waffle House that was only 10 minutes away from the airport. And so on the last day of our trip, I convinced them to leave our Airbnb just a little bit early, get an Uber to the Waffle House. We'd just swing through, have a quick breakfast, blink and you'd miss it. You wouldn't even know you were there. And then we'd be on the way to the airport and we'd go home. And to my surprise, they agreed. So we find ourselves ordering an Uber to the Waffle House. And mind you, I am 9 days deep into vacation with my mom and brother. I love them both dearly, but we had not spent this much time together since my twin brother and I were in her womb. And everything they were saying and doing at this point in time was really getting under my skin. So our Uber pulls up to drive us to Waffle Heaven, and a lovely older Cuban man named Luis picks us up. And he's really curious as to why we have all this luggage, but we're going to 10 minutes away from the airport, not actually the airport. And I'm trying to explain to him how excited I am about the Waffle House. And out of the kindness of his soul, he tells us that he's going to hang out in the parking lot with our stuff so we don't have to schlep all of our luggage into the restaurant. And then when we were done, he would happily take us the rest of the way to the airport. Because he was going to just be waiting for us, I ended up inviting him to have breakfast with us. Also provides a lovely buffer between you and your mother and brother that you might want to kill. And it turns out that Luis was an amazing waffle wingman. He was trying to hustle to get to the table, so we are in line behind a lot of other hungry families, and he calls the hostess over, and he's like, "Look at this beautiful family. They're risking missing their flight home just so they can dine at your fine establishment for the very first time." And within minutes, we were seated. So over coffee, Luis starts to tell us a little bit more about his family. And it turns out that he used to take his mother on vacation every single year, but that she had recently passed away, and he was really sad that he wasn't able to spend that time with her. And then he also talked about how proud he was of his 2 daughters, who were about the same age as me and my brother, but they had moved away and he didn't get to spend as much time with them as he would like. And I could tell that Luis really envied and even admired my family, even at a point where I was finding that really difficult to do myself. And he said, "This time with your family together is so special, you need to cherish it." And maybe it was his magic, maybe it was all the maple syrup, but I could start to feel all of the frustration and annoyance from the past week melt away. To quote the sign on the front door of my new favorite restaurant, "Whether you're a first-time diner or you're a regular at the Waffle House, we welcome you with open arms. When you're here, you're family." I think that good hospitality makes you feel like family, and great hospitality makes you embrace your family, warts and waffles and all. Thank you.
Please keep it going for Jessica.